It's the end of an era in Needham after more than 3 decades of service and 23 years as the town's very first town manager. Kay Fitzpatrick is stepping down this summer. From building projects and budget battles and quiet moments behind the scenes, she's helped shape nearly every corner of town life. Today, we sit down with her to look back, look ahead, and reflect on what it's meant to lead a town she clearly loves. Welcome to the Needham channel, Kate.
Thank you for having me.
So first, let's start with the hard one. 30 years. How are you feeling right now as you get ready to stepping away from all of this?
Well, people keep asking me if I'm, winding down, and I'm not winding down yet. I don't know when that'll happen, probably the last day. It's really been driving into Needham for, like you said, 35 years. It's hard to imagine getting up and not driving here. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bittersweet, I would say. I love it here. I know so many people here, and I count so many of them as friends and colleagues that's the part that I'm not sure what it'll be like moving on.
Do you still remember the very first year on this job?
Oh, yes. So I started in 1990, which was a very difficult year financially. Mm-hmm. And when I got here, they had an article on town meeting to change the form of government, which would change who I was reporting to within the first month. And then I had to help handle some layoffs. And, as far as I can recall, we've never had a layoff since, and that's been something that we're very proud of. But it was a very tumultuous first 3-4 months.
Yeah, because you were the personnel director at that time.
I was the personnel director, yeah.
You've seen Needham through it all, from school construction, budget battles, probably every year, and even the pandemic. What are some of the biggest challenges?
I would say the pandemic was one of the most instrumental things in a career, right? So we were here, there was a handful of us who were here every day in the offices and, just empty, and there was nobody on the streets, and it was just a very difficult time to lead people who were asynchronous and working at home and afraid, and the public was afraid and worried, and there was a lot of feelings, and I would say holding a town meeting outdoors was probably something I'll never forget for the rest of my life, trying to have desks and papers and flying and be at the will of the elements. So that was an incredible time for us. And looking back, we didn't know where we were headed, and that's why it was so difficult.
Right, and we started a hybrid model of all the municipal meetings since the pandemic.
That's been a huge change. It takes a lot more work from the staff, and we have small committees that don't have staff, so we have to constantly figure it out. But it helped the people who live in town who can't get out of their house at 6 or 7 to come to a meeting. It's really helped people see, and then we can also use it to look back. We have a record of essentially every meeting that we've had since 2020.
Was there ever a moment you were like, this is just too much?
Some of the economic downturns where we had to make really difficult budgetary decisions, those are hard because while we didn't have to lay people off, we had to cut some services that the people really liked. One year we had to cut the people who lined the ball fields, and that was just, it was hard for people to imagine that something like that could happen, but mostly there were more good years than bad.
Your staff and your colleague often describe you as calm, steady, and tireless. Is that how you see your leadership style?
Tireless, yes. Calm, no. I would never define myself as calm, but I do feel like I can work hard, and I'm here every day, and I really believe that what we do in local government is really bringing democracy. It's the front door of democracy. You open our front door and you get somebody, and they're there to help you. And I truly believe in that, and I think the staff understand that, but I'm not always that calm.
So was there a moment that you just wanted to scream into a pillow?
Yes, I think everybody's had that moment, right? When you just had one more email or one more note or one more angry person. But I will say we do citizen surveys and customer satisfaction surveys, and overwhelmingly, we've been doing them since 2008. People really love it here, and they're happy with their government. And
has your leadership style changed over the years, you think?
I think so. I think that as I've been able to build my own team, the team that we've had over the last number of years, really we hire people who want to take a project and take on work and own it themselves. And so I've been able to step back a little from some of the day-to-day and try to think about the future more. So I think more collaborative and less having to do day-to-day tasks.
What are some of the aspects that of being a town manager that people might not realize? Any like funny, surprising, or just the unexpected parts of the job?
There's always something new, right? Katie King, who's our deputy town manager and will be the new town manager, she always says, well, how did you handle this last time? And I'll say, I never saw that before. I mean, literally after all these years that something can come up that I've never seen before. I also think that what people may not understand is we call it a mile wide and a foot deep, because I need to have understanding, a little bit of understanding about a huge number, public works and sewer and fire and park and rec and library, and you can only know so much, right? Sometimes we joke that we know something before town meeting and then 3 months later we don't remember any of it, right? So you have to focus on one thing at a time, but there's so much that's there.
What's something about you outside of the job that people might be interested to know, like any guilty pleasure or hidden talent?
I was thinking about that, and I was asking my family, and all of their things were negative. So I said, well, one thing that people might not know is that I'm a breast cancer survivor, and more than 20 years. And when I was going through treatment, I somehow read a book about the Civil War, and I started on this course of going to probably 20, 25 Civil War battlefields. Just really an interesting study of democracy and what can happen to a nation. And so probably people don't know that.
But some of us do know that you write.
Yes.
You've been keeping a blog.
Yes.
Yeah, called Barricade,
Yes.
Relentless Practice in Local Government.
Yes.
How did you start it?
I listened to a lot of podcasters, and I just got the idea from Gretchen Rubin, actually. She has a podcast, and she had an alter ego. It reminded her to ground herself. So when I was feeling overwhelmed or frankly nervous, I would pull out Very Kate, like a cloak, right? And Very Kate would be there. And I write that, I don't like heights and I don't like escalators, and if I have to go on them, I just say, here's Very Kate. And I figured I wanted to write about local government, interesting things, but also some funny things.
I just came across this beautiful post. Moms was at work.
Yes.
And what is your advice to working parents or people aspiring to work for local government?
That's such a good question, and it's the question I get most often. And I say that it's a great career for moms, and I've often seen women who are reluctant to take a promotion to a department manager level or to a town manager or assistant town manager because they have young kids. And I always say that the higher you up in the organization, the more flexibility you have. So you control your own schedule, and if you need to go home because somebody forgot that there was something needed for the Girl Scout cookie party, you can run home and do that. So, and also my girls turned out fine, and they were they were at daycare or extended care, and they thrived. And my older daughter is now in local government herself, so she must have worn off on her.
And now, as you prepare to pass the torch, what's your hope for Needham's future?
I think that Needham is in a really good place. We've done a lot of building, as you said. We have great long-term planning. We have very conservative fiscal policies. I hope it stays on course, that we can meet the challenges that come to us, that we can build the new buildings that need to get built. I don't think it's a community that people want some kind of radical change, so I hope it just keeps going. And every change, there's something better that happens, and I'm sure that will be the case.
And what's next for you? Any fun retirement plan?
I will be working. I don't know exactly what yet. I'd like to do something that involves helping people in local government do their work. I'm particularly interested in women in local government and helping them move up in their careers. So I don't have it nailed down yet, but I'll be doing something like that.
How do you want people to remember Kay Fitzpatrick? I mean, not the title, but the person.
Yeah, I really feel like I came here every day to work for the people of Needham, and I worked hard, and I really care about the town. I really care about the employees and the work they're doing 24 hours a day. And I'd like them to remember that I had a role in setting up that team.
All right. Thank you so much, Kate, for coming here and sharing your story.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything you've done for Needham.
And I appreciate Needham Cable.
And we wish you the best in your next chapter.
Thank you.